I am here today to explain to you why assuming such a thing is stupid. The flat map fallacy. Before we dive into the physics, we have to address the evidence most people point to, the flat map. We must understand that the only reason these flat, two-dimensional maps exist is so that we can interpret a complex 3D object in a way that fits on a screen or a piece of paper. It is a mathematical convenience, not a geographic reality. When you look at the polar map or azimuthal projection in the framework before you, you are seeing a deliberate distortion where the South Pole is stretched into an outer ring. This is a tool for visualization, but to assume this 2D representation is the literal shape of our world is a fundamental failure to understand how dimensions work. It is taking a shadow and claiming it is the object. The gravity of the situation. The most fundamental reason a flat Earth is an impossibility comes down to gravity. Gravity is not a suggestion, it is the universal force that dictates the structure of the cosmos. The spherical mandate. In a large enough mass, gravity pulls equally from all directions toward the center, naturally forcing matter into a sphere. The pancake problem. For a disc-shaped Earth to exist, gravity would have to stop working. If it didn't, the edges of the pancake would be crushed inward toward the center, collapsing the disk back into a ball. The directional pull. If you stood at the edge of a flat Earth, gravity would pull you sideways toward the center of the disk, not down. Walking toward the edge would feel like climbing a mountain that gets steeper with every step, even on level ground. The geometry of reality. The MCF, absolute idiot-proof framework, demonstrates the visual absurdity of the flat model by showing exactly how the grid must unfold and stretch to appear flat. South Pole distortion. On a flat map, the South Pole is forced to become the outer edge, creating a massive, impossible ice wall that doesn't exist in 3D space. Navigational reality. In a flat world, flight paths in the southern hemisphere would be thousands of miles longer than they actually are. Millions of people travel these routes every year, proving the flat geometry is a mathematical impossibility. The horizon. If the Earth were flat, a powerful enough telescope could see the lights of London from New York. Instead, we see ships sink bottom first over the horizon because they are following the physical curvature of a sphere. A denial of the divine clockwork. To hold a flat view is to claim that every other observable object in the universe, the Sun, the Moon, Mars, Jupiter, is a sphere, but Earth is the lone, special exception. It is a refusal to acknowledge the evidence of lunar eclipses, where the Earth casts a consistently round shadow on the Moon, regardless of the angle. The statement, to assume the Earth is flat is to choose a comfortingly small world over a magnificently complex one. It requires a conspiracy so vast that it would need to include every pilot, every sailor, every physicist, and every amateur astronomer in history. We aren't standing on a static plate, we are riding a beautiful, pressurized sphere through a vacuum. To deny the curve is to deny the very math that explains why we don't float away into the dark. It isn't just a scientific error, it is a refusal to look at the world as it actually is.